there is a new development in the. We were talking a little bit off the air recently about the courts and what the president needs to do because there's a real battle going on with the courts. I
have an open letter I'm going to publish here in just a little while for the president. It's time he takes actions against the court. Constitutional actions against the court. He needs to stop this.
Well, yeah, because some people are saying now there's a constitutional crisis based on. No, I'm serious. That's what the left is saying. This.
Mike Lee is saying that too. Yeah. Mike Lee says this is
never
judicial.
Good when both sides are saying it.
I know.
Yeah.
He's saying, they're saying opposite directions. Mike Lee is saying this is judicial insurrection. Mike Lee doesn't use that language. I don't know if you know Mike Lee. He's like, well, I don't know. That seems like that could be a little harsh. You said the guy was a wiener? I know, and I regret that. I mean, he doesn't use this kind of language. For him to say judicial insurrection is big.
Yeah, no, it is. And he knows the courts, and he knows the Constitution really well.
Yeah.
The story is today, this is coming sort of from Kash Patel, and I put an asterisk on that, but it says federal agents on Friday arrested a judge in Wisconsin on obstruction charges after she allegedly helped an undocumented immigrant evade arrest. That's according to Kash Patel, sort of. And the reason I say sort of is because Patel made the announcement in an X post, which was then quickly deleted. So it's a little bit murky here. But the FBI did not immediately respond to requests to CNBC for comment on why the post was removed. Patel wrote that the FBI believes Milwaukee Circuit Court Judge Hannah Duggan was intentionally misdirecting federal agents away from Eduardo Flores Ruiz as agents were attempting to arrest him at her courthouse last week. Thankfully, our agents chased down the perp on foot. He's been in custody since, but the judge's obstruction created increased danger to the public, Patel said in the post.
She needs to be arrested. She needs to be arrested, just like everybody else. Did you see that the New Mexico judge and his wife arrested? Did you hear about this?
Yeah.
These guys? So a judge and his wife, they I don't know, see at Home Depot or something, some guy who is, looking for a job, and they say, hey, you're great. Why don't you come over and help us work on our house, and you can stay at our house. They put him up. He's an illegal gang member. I think he's MS-13. And they know it, and he's living at the house, and they're like, oh, no, nothing's going on here. Well, turn over the gang member. What gang member? What are you talking about? These guys are going to jail, and they should. That's a judge and his wife harboring a fugitive. They should go to jail.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. And
No.
judges, my understanding, and the left has told me this over and over again, that no one is above the law.
Yeah,
so my
no
understanding
one
is
is.
judges would fit into that.
Yeah.
If they broke the law, they deserve to be prosecuted.
Right. And that's the thing. People say they're going to throw their people in. No, I don't want people thrown in jail just to throw in jail. I want justice to be served. I want them to have fair representation. I want the truth mattering. Mm-hmm. I want the truth told. You have to provide, witnesses and evidence. But if you're found guilty by a jury of your peers, not one of your cozy buddy judges, you go to jail. Period. I'm so sick and tired of us having to do everything, and we'll go to jail. I'm sick and tired of paying my taxes. I really am. I'm sick and tired of paying my taxes. I pay my taxes. I live within the rules. I don't cheat. I don't steal. I don't do any of that stuff, and neither does probably 99.9% of everybody listening. I'm sure there's a Democrat in here someplace. Everybody who's listening, you play by the rules every day. Every day you play by the rules. You pay your student loan. You didn't go to college. I didn't go to college because I couldn't afford to go to college. Okay, I knew I was raised at a time where you had to earn it. You didn't take out loans you weren't going to repay. You earned it. You worked hard. So I went one semester. That's all I could afford. I couldn't afford anymore. I stopped going. Okay, I pay my bills. I play by the rules. And everybody else who doesn't play, do you see that Stacey Abrams is actually thinking about running for governor again?
Yes.
She just got $2 billion given by the Biden administration of our tax dollars to her little sham of an operation. I don't know what she does. I don't know what it was supposed to do, but you can't tell me something that raised, what, $100, $100,000? How much
was
was
it? $100.
It was $100. It raised $100.
Under 200, but it was nowhere near 100,000.
Yeah, okay. So let's just be kind. Let's say raised $10,000. I think it was in the hundreds. Mm-hmm. $10,000. on her own. Then all of a sudden gets a grant from the government of $2 billion.
Happens all the time.
All the time. I would be walked out of this building in handcuffs if that would have happened at Mercury One. And I should be. If that happened, everybody who was involved in it should go to jail. She's thinking about running again. I'm sick of it. I'm just sick of it.
Do you think, now take what you just said, that frustration. I'm sick of it. I pay my taxes. Nothing's ever fair, et cetera, et cetera.
Well,
et
life
cetera.
isn't fair. I'm not looking for fair.
I know,
I'm just looking for.
I'm summarizing.
Yeah, all right.
You know what I'm saying.
Get off my back.
My point is not to attack you on that point. I think it's a point that tons of people are feeling, probably also on the left, but definitely on the right. Are you concerned at all about the outcome of that feeling?
Oh my gosh, yes.
I will say,
yes.
While I agree that you should do what you can in the Constitution, within the Constitution, to hold people responsible for their actions. Totally agree there. And I feel like we all agree on that. There is, I believe, a little bit of an appetite brewing, which is more like,
not here.
Screw what the Constitution says.
Not here.
We need to, and if we keep listening to the Constitution, we're going to continue to lose. We've tried that before, blah, 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 blah. Can you just abandon the Constitution?
No, you cannot. You cannot. We must not. We will become everything we despise. We will become petty little dictators. We will become a horrid nightmare of a nation if we abandon the Constitution. I can't tell you how many times I and the president used the word Constitution in our conversations this week. So what are the constitutional remedies, Mr. President? What can you do constitutionally? The minute you get off the Constitution, it's over. It's over. We lose everything if we get off the Constitution. And anybody who says, well, we'll just get off, you never go back. You never go back. You know how you give the government a little bit of leeway and you're like, yeah, just give them a little bit more power. And they never get it back and they just keep hogging more and more. They never give it back. If you say, well, just this time we're not going to use the Constitution, you'll never get it back. Never. And we cannot be part of that. And we cannot be, this is the really scary thing. People feel they have done their job. 70% of the American people agree with Donald Trump on the deporting of illegals. 70%. What happens, you're seeing this in Europe, what happens when the elites force their way down the throats of the people and say, no? In this republic, 70% are saying, send them home. Send them home now. And you have the left, which is just cratering in popularity. You have the left cratering. You have the elite media making this whole thing. What? Whose story are they telling? The deep state? The deep, deep left? The anti-American people? The what? MS-13? Who? Who are you? What? Whose side are you on here? And when 70% of the American people feel they've done the right thing, they played by the rules, they went to the polls, they expressed their point of view, they went and they'll talk to a stupid pollster now and still say, I'm for that, and that number is still 70%. If you don't listen to the people, you're in trouble. And in this nation, hopefully that means that Donald Trump wins more in the midterms. But I don't know. But if the Republicans, the Democrats, the media, and everybody else doesn't start listening to the people, it will end the way it always ends, and that is really bad, and I don't recommend it. Humble yourself and start listening to the people.